Khamzat or Islam?
I cannot
You
do
know,
this.
say it.
I cannot
You know,
do this.
Say it.
I cannot do this for my job. I cannot do this. But they're both very good. Both very, very good.
Yeah.
I'm Team Wolf. Team Khamzat.
Hey, you would be Team Wolf after he just took your ass down too. He took you down too. Everybody killed this guy, man.
Everyone.
He lost it.
Hey, everybody can take me down, but
Hey,
DC.
he lost it. He lost it.
I believe that there have been 3 fights, maybe 4 max, where the trash talk has gotten so personal that it's sort of uncomfortable for some to digest. The first one, you can make the case, Chael Sonnen versus Anderson Silva. The second one, you can make the case, Conor McGregor versus Khabib Nurmagomedov. The third one, which is the one that I'm sort of like saying maybe, maybe not, but I think you could put it in that category, was Colby Covington versus Kamaru Usman, and this would be the 4th. And I would say not since Conor Khabib have we seen trash talk that like talked about religion, ethnicities, things of that nature. And so when he's talking about these things, he's saying these things to a guy who like doesn't mess around. He doesn't mess around. He's like Khamzat, like he's not that guy. Not to suggest that Sean is afraid of that, worried about that, anything like that. I just hope that they are truly ready for something very bad to happen next week. And what I mean by very bad, obviously, I'm not talking about like a death or someone getting shot, but like this could get so inflammatory that the fight gets called off. Like there's a brawl, someone gets hurt. Who knows?
If anyone's gonna be able to do it, it's gonna be a guy like Sean Strickland. So it is hard to say. I do feel like Khamzat could, has a higher probability to win, but Sean Strickland, if anyone's gonna be able to fucking somehow say fuck it and beat him, it's gonna be him. But we'll wait and see.
That'd be awesome though. Imagine Strickland, like you start noticing it. Round 2, 3, start stuffing the takedowns. He's keeping Chimaev to the body. Chimaev, he doesn't like it, he's looking a bit off. He's bleeding a little bit. Strickland's walking him down. Come on, Khamzat.
You never know how these weigh-ins are these weight cuts too. Khamzat's a big motherfucker, hasn't fought in a while. Just seems like he's fucking huge. You never know how these weight cuts go, the rehydration goes. And that all plays into it. You never know how their fight camps are going. Someone could be dealing.
The closer Khamzat Chimaev and Sean Strickland move toward the octagon, the more this fight begins to feel less like a normal title matchup and more like a collision destined to explode into complete chaos. Every interview, every press conference, every backstage interaction has added fuel to a rivalry already boiling with tension. What started as competitive trash talk has slowly transformed into something far more personal, uncomfortable, and unpredictable. Across the MMA world, fighters, analysts, and
I have never, ever, in all my time, seen someone so dominant than Khamzat in training camp. I'm talking, and it's not even remotely close. Like I would see GSP struggle with certain aspects of training camp. I see Rashad, Bisping, the Shane Carwin, right? He was my close training partner. Lyoto Machida. They would excel at certain parts, and then if it went to this area of mixed martial arts, you would see them get choked out or have some issues. I'm talking complete domination across the board. And it's not like, oh man, that was a good back and forth, this is good training. You're like, oh my God. And it also wasn't like he was going against Joe Blows. You're talking, I'm not going to out any guys. Yeah. You're talking All-Americans, national champion wrestlers, jiu-jitsu world champions,
Thai fighters,
elite strikers. And I was just like, what in the and I'm talking ruthless. Not like going easy. I'm talking ruthless where you're like, oh, he's going to kill somebody. And it's just the way he trains.
Fans are all beginning to ask the same dangerous question. Are we witnessing the most volatile rivalry since Conor McGregor versus Khabib Nurmagomedov? Even veteran voices inside the sport have openly admitted the situation feels different. Several analysts compare the intensity of this feud to some of the ugliest buildups in UFC history, where emotions crossed the line from promotion into genuine hostility. The comparisons immediately brought back memories of Chael Sonnen versus Anderson Silva, McGregor versus Khabib, and Colby Covington versus Kamaru Usman. Yet
He has sparred with Chimaev, he has sparred with Sean Strickland, he is now coming out and he's telling us Sean Strickland is really hard to take down. And he comes out and he says that he believes Chimaev will be the bigger, stronger athlete. And that for me, I just found interesting. I wish he would have elaborated on that, because that must be figuratively, it must not mean literally. I mean, they're going to get on the scale. Nobody's going to be bigger or stronger. Well, they might be stronger. Nobody's going to be bigger. They're going to weigh the exact same, so it must be.
many believe Chimaev versus Strickland now belongs in that category too, because the insults have drifted into territory involving religion, identity, ethnicity, and deeply personal attacks. Once rivalries reach that point, the danger extends far beyond the octagon itself. One analyst even warned that the UFC should genuinely prepare for something catastrophic happening before fight night. Not necessarily violence outside the cage on a criminal level, but something serious.
Now, I thought we had put the rumors of Chimaev's conditioning behind us. This was all the rave. If you guys, right, if you can get into your mental time machine and go back to the buildup of Chimaev versus Dricus, all the talk was that Chimaev couldn't hold up, that he would fatigue, that he couldn't go championship rounds. Some of the evidence that he couldn't go championship rounds was the level of fatigue that he reached in his 3-round contest against Kamaru Usman. This was all part of the narrative. And I always resisted it. I like when a guy gets tired. A guy should be tired. A guy should be exhausted. I've heard coaches come out and say, all right, this athlete, you see him after his last fight, he was so tired. If I'm a coach, if you go into a fight and you come out anything less than exhausted, I'm going to have a real problem with that.
Enough to jeopardize the event entirely. A backstage brawl, a press conference explosion, or an altercation leading to injuries. That concern exists because both men carry explosive personalities in completely different ways. Sean Strickland thrives in psychological warfare. He enjoys provoking reactions, pushing emotional buttons, and dragging opponents into uncomfortable territory mentally.
It's the person that can get to exhaustion first and stay there. People will reach exhaustion and then they will stop what they're doing. The champion will reach exhaustion and continue on. And I only tell you that because I did feel that we saw that with Chimaev. I kind of thought the talk of get Chimaev tired and make a coward out of him was behind us. I have simply never seen it. But Darren Till commented on it. And that had my attention because Sean Strickland, who's also trained with Chimaev, made a somewhat similar comment. Sean Strickland said that Chimaev in the first round when they would spar, he would use so much energy that in the second round he would have to grab a lesser opponent. I'm interested in that.
But Khamzat Chimaev is viewed differently. Many fighters describe him as someone who does not treat conflict like entertainment. When things become personal with Chimaev, the feeling inside the MMA community is that the consequences become very real very quickly. Still, despite all the emotional tension surrounding the matchup, analysts continue debating the actual fight itself. And interestingly, while many lean toward Chimaev winning, almost nobody sounds fully confident predicting
I feel like I have to go with Chimaev here, unfortunately. Strickland's a really good grappler, but it's just fucking
levels
annoying how good Chimaev is at wrestling, dude. It's fucking pathetic. And also, I feel like Chimaev has I feel like you need to be a guy who can stuff the takedowns, but then also have the power to just put out Chimaev on the feet.
Yeah.
And Strickland's very good, and he did get a finish in his last fight, which was impressive.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. I just feel like Chimaev's going to have too much ability to coast if he doesn't get his way in some of the rounds. If it gets to round 4 and 5 and he can't get his takedowns as much, he can just kind of float around a bit with Strickland on the feet compared to someone else.
Sean Strickland losing easily. That uncertainty alone says everything about how fascinating this matchup truly is. On paper, Chimaev appears terrifying. His wrestling pressure, physicality, aggression, and relentless pace have overwhelmed nearly everyone placed in front of him. Yet Strickland possesses a style specifically designed to frustrate aggressive fighters. His durability, defensive boxing, cardio, and ability to mentally drown opponents.
God, yeah, it's hard to say. My I feel like I just want to say, you know, Khamzat's going to win. He's going to take him down. He's going to, whether he holds him down or beats, you know, ground and pound or finds a submission. But part of me's like, it's 25 minutes. Strickland's got a crazy gas tank, but we've never really seen his gas tank's so good, but it's never been, at least that I can remember, been tested in a sense to where he is getting taken down and having to work his way up. And then he gets taken down again and have to work his way up, because that shit's fucking exhausting. Like that's the most exciting thing. Like when I fought Merab the second time, in that third round, he took me down. I got up like 4 or 5 times, and it's just exhausting to keep getting back up. And
it affects your striking,
affects
makes you
everything.
second guess things.
Yeah, so I'm curious, but I would love to see fucking Khamzat take down Strickland, just, you know, get back up and, you know, bring it to Khamzat and just be a war. But
over long fights creates serious questions about whether Chimaev can dominate him for 25 full minutes. Many observers believe the early rounds will determine absolutely everything. If Chimaev secures takedowns immediately and establishes dominant top control, the fight could quickly become a nightmare for Strickland. But if Strickland survives the opening storm, stuffs takedowns, and begins forcing Chimaev into extended striking exchanges deep into rounds 3, 4, and 5, momentum could shift dramatically. Fans are especially curious about how...
That one's tough. I root for Strickland. I like Khamzat too. He's, you know, I've been in his training camp. He's a really, really good dude. Super scary. I root for Strickland. We need more American stars. Obviously, he says outlandish shit, which I don't agree with everything, but he is good for the business. And he's American, so I root for Strickland. I like Strickland. I really like Strickland. I think he's, you know, he's a product of today's environment where, you know, our president cusses. If you see any young kid on YouTube, the outlandish shit that they say, he's a product of that. Like if this is 10 years ago, buddy, he's probably getting arrested or they're canceling his fights. But now it's just the bar has been, I don't say higher, the bar.
How Chimaev's weight cuts and conditioning hold up over championship distance, because throughout his UFC career, cardio concerns have repeatedly followed him despite his dominance. Several analysts revisited the Kamaru Usman fight while discussing Chimaev's conditioning. During that bout, Chimaev visibly slowed after pushing a brutal pace early, which sparked endless criticism about his ability to maintain championship-level endurance. Yet not everyone accepted that narrative. Some argue...
So I root for Strickland. I'll say this. I've never watched a Khamzat fight or even going into it and thought he was going to lose. Just haven't. And then I saw him train. I've been around a long time, man. I've trained with Lyoto Machida. I've trained with John Jones. Been in GSP's camps. Anderson Silva, Verdum, Mark Munoz, Bisbing, Tony Ferguson, Shane Carwin, Nate Marquardt, Rashad Evans. I mean, Wonderboy Thompson, Stipe. I've trained with everybody. I have never, ever in all my time seen someone so dominant than Khamzat in training.
That fighters are supposed to look exhausted after intense fights. According to this perspective, reaching exhaustion is not proof of weakness but evidence of maximum effort. One commentator even explained that if a fighter leaves the cage without looking exhausted, then perhaps they did not push themselves hard enough in the first place. That interpretation becomes especially interesting when discussing Chimaev, because many who train with him insist his exhaustion often arrives only after he has already mentally and physically broken opponents first. The idea is terrifying. If Chimaev empties his gas tank while destroying another...
I think Khamzat's too skilled. Sean's kind of a one-trick pony, kind of lazy, doesn't really possess a crazy amount of skill. He's just super awkward when you're in there with him, and if you've never experienced that, then it's a shock. But I think I think he's too skilled. I think he's going to be too skilled. I think now he's older, he's smarter, he's wiser with his mentality, with his emotions, and his skill level. I think he's just going to be too much for Sean, and I think how he approaches the fight is going to shock a lot of people.
Elite fighter in the process. Maybe fatigue becomes irrelevant because the opponent is already damaged beyond recovery. That concept has fueled endless debate leading into this matchup with Strickland. Another major talking point emerged after Darren Till discussed sparring sessions involving both men. Till openly admitted Sean Strickland is incredibly difficult to take down consistently. Yet he also claimed Chimaev somehow still felt like the bigger athlete between them. That statement confused many fans because physically both men compete at the same weight and are relatively similar in size. Analysts
Does this feel like a real grudge match for this middleweight title?
I think, yeah, you can't tell. I think they both have the temperament that it could be. But realistically, I think this is just fight week pressure, and they both have an image to uphold, and both of them are going to flex bigger than the other one because that's the type of personality that they bring. They can't start being nice now. You know what I mean? They can't start being like, they've got to be the crazy guy. And now they're going to out crazy each other to see who's tougher, is how I see it. It's like, no, I'm crazier than you. You can't be crazier than me because I've already shown you how crazy I am, right? And it's just...
First interpreted Till's comments less as a literal measurement and more as a psychological description. Chimaev carries himself with overwhelming forward pressure, confidence, and physical intensity that can make opponents feel smaller even when they are not. Brendan Schaub added even more intrigue by delivering one of the most shocking endorsements imaginable for Chimaev. Schaub claimed that across decades spent training with legends like Georges St-Pierre, John Jones, Anderson Silva, Lyoto Machida, Shane Carwin, Rashad Evans, Stipe Miocic, and countless world champions, he had never witnessed anyone dominate training rooms.
Striking, like can Chimaev effectively strike with Sean's boxing and those teep kicks? Like if he's how do you see kind of that going if this doesn't?
Yeah, I mean, it's a stand-up fight too. Like it's a good stand-up battle. Chimaev obviously is dynamic, but his mixture of strikes in wrestling is what's going to set up his striking. He's never just going to purely strike. He's always going to add in the takedown attempts and the threat. So that threat drops your hands. You have to respect it. You just have to respect the high-low thing. When they're reaching for your legs, your defense has to come down, up, down, and that creates openings in the striking. And so I see that's how he's going to create openings if they're on the feet and if he doesn't get the takedown. Strickland, it's going to be the same fight that he's always fought. His style is actually built for this style. He funnels single legs. He throws the jab, which doesn't overcommit the hips, so it's hard to lock up two legs when the hip...
way Khamzat Chimaev does. According to Schaub, Chimaev doesn't merely outperform sparring partners. He completely destroys elite-level athletes in every area of mixed martial arts. The description painted an almost frightening picture. Schaub explained that Chimaev routinely overwhelmed national champion wrestlers, elite strikers, jiu-jitsu world champions, and high-level UFC fighters with ruthless intensity. Not controlled technical sparring sessions, but complete domination where spectators inside the gym reportedly became uncomfortable watching.
Man, okay, I rock with Strickland, man. I really do rock with Strickland. I hope maybe he can pull it off and represent, the U.S. in a real way. I'm excited to see like what kind of get-ups he has whenever Chimaev does take him down, or if how long is it gonna take for Chimaev to take him down, and if he can get back up and start using those teeps and kind of really have a good game plan like he had against Hernandez. I mean, could be an interesting fight, and I don't know. I'm pulling for Strickland.
Watching the damage unfold. For Schaub, Chimaev's pressure and violence inside training camps reached a level he had never previously seen in combat sports.